Hey gang, week 2, chock full of carnage. We already put up a video on the channel talking about the fallout from the Drew Brees and Ben Roethlisberger injuries, and that's where I want to begin as we talk about the week 3 waiver wire, specifically what should you do if you were riding with one of those quarterbacks. First off, let's acknowledge that you can try streaming quarterbacks for a bit. See if you stumble upon a good solution trying to play matchups. First here, we're showing you some shallow league options. These ownership numbers are Yahoo leagues. If I'm thinking longer term of this group, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo. I thought he played well this past week. If I'm just talking about week 3 though, streaming, maybe Josh Allen against the Bengals. Garoppolo just did pretty well against the Bengals in week 2. Certainly, you're leaving passing yards on the table with Josh Allen, but with him, he does have the rushing cheat code. And so now here we really are in the land of streaming. You probably wouldn't want to look at these lesser-owned QBs and say, woohoo, all right, I'm set for the rest of the year. So instead of worrying about adding someone permanently, let's talk about these dudes in terms of week 3. Colts, home Falcons. I don't hate it for Jacoby Brissett. As I showed you earlier on the channel, Mason Rudolph probably outplayed Teddy Bridgewater last week, and he's got road 49ers. I guess I do not dislike taking that shot. We'll be right back to talk about waivers for the rest of the field in week 3. Hey, we are sponsored by Leesa, the makers of my mattress. I've been sleeping on one for 4 years. If you know in your house it's time for a new mattress, I hope you'll check them out. And I hope that particularly because Leesa is a really good company. They donate a mattress to a shelter for every 10 that they sell. They plant a tree for every one that they sell. They are the top 1% of the top 1% when it comes to corporate citizenship and environmental practices. They will also give you 100 nights to try out your new mattress, and if you don't love it, send it back, no questions asked, and we can get you 15% off right now if you go to Leesa.com and use the promo code Harris15. Leesa.com, 15% off with that code Harris15. Okay, we are back at it. We'll just peruse the potential shallow league ads. There's nobody here who's an automatic no matter what starter in a shallow league, which I'm going to define as players who are owned in half of Yahoo leagues or fewer. You can see the workload starting to pile up for Hyde. McLaurin scored another touchdown, kind of a garbage time, but it was a touchdown. Jaylen Samuels maybe gets some run depending on James Conner's health. And Mecole Hardman scored as well, but actually I'm not sure if I'd had him even in a shallow league over the guy who's first on our next page. So here are the more standard sort of 12-team league type ads owned in fewer than 1/3 of Yahoo leagues. So, I'll break down the first two guys here on this list. We've got Demarcus Robinson, teammate of Mecole Hardman, who I just mentioned. I'll also break down DJ Chark momentarily. I actually may prefer adding Robinson over Hardman, the chief teammate receivers. So lest I be considered a revisionist, let's look back 2 weeks at Demarcus Robinson. This was his only catch in week 1. He played. After Tyreek Hill got hurt, he played a lot. He played 35 snaps overall. He did nothing. So this is a fair warning. He's my top waiver ad of the week. He's not a sure thing. Robinson got started against the Raiders, converting a 3rd down when the Chiefs needed it, when they were trailing 10-0 out of the slot, running a little square out, and Pat Mahomes making an outrageously tight window throw, which was just a teaser for what was coming. Now, I warn you, some of what I'm going to show you here is not about Robinson himself being awesome. We freeze it here before the play starts. Robinson is in the left slot, and the Raiders are giving a man look, but at the snap, you'll see some of the Raider defenders switch to zone, but against 3 vertical routes, the deep safety decides to, I guess, triple team Travis Kelce rather than get the guy who nobody is covering, and that winds up being a pretty easy score. This big one to Robinson, with him lined up in the right slot. It's a deep over route, and with the single safety high again, making almost exactly the same mistake, not judging who's got whom, not realizing there's help on the offensive right side and none on the offensive left side. By NFL standards, that's another easy pitch and catch. This one, though, we don't blame on the Raiders. Here they've got everything switched over correctly, and Garyon Conley really has Demarcus Robinson. Robinson tries to shake him on his route, doesn't really succeed. It's close coverage to an average-sized receiver who isn't really going to outrun anybody, but Mahomes just throws it perfectly, and granted, good for Robinson. He finds a way. The point here really isn't to sell you Demarcus Robinson all that hard. He seems like a pretty average player. It's the fact that the Chiefs are clearly right back to being lightning in a bottle on offense, and with Tyreek Hill out, there's room for more production. Basically, to add Robinson short term is a chance to add a piece of the Kansas City offense. But there's really no guarantee that it won't be Mecole Hardman next week, who's, I said, owned in 40% of leagues, or maybe Sammy Watkins goes back to another huge day. Still, you never know how these things work out, and Robinson is available in a lot of leagues. Okay, and now let's talk DJ Chark, a second-year Jaguars receiver, and if Robinson represents maybe an injection of adrenaline, maybe right away into your Week 3 lineup, Chark is probably more of a slow burn, maybe, because as you see from this montage of plays from Sunday's close loss in Houston, we weren't getting Robinson-esque exciting usage out of Chark. The Jags played it really conservatively, as befits their rookie quarterback, and this kind of usage might have been what folks were sure that D.D. Westbrook was definitely going to get, but I don't know. No matter what it is, if it's all this, it's probably not going to move the fantasy needle that much on a weekly basis. And it's not like this particular throw was any more daring, but I submit it here just to say, hey, that DJ Chark guy kind of has some hand-eye coordination. That is a pretty nifty grab. Now, in the 2-minute drill at the end of the game, Chark lined up wide right. The Texans are playing back, and we watch Chark there threaten with deep speed. He definitely has deep speed, and then stop. In this particular game, Chark nearly got to play hero. The Texans defense, just a couple plays later, lost him in the end zone. He scored what might have been the winning touchdown had the Jags been able to convert for 2. And just generally speaking, you saw a lot of usage, mostly short stuff, but you can see athletic potential with Chark. And actually, the only other thing I want to show you comes from back in Week 1. This is actually the play on which Nick Foles broke his collarbone. And this really isn't, I guess, an example of amazing deep speed because Chark here kind of runs out of room, but he actually is very fast, and he does exhibit fantastic ball skills here, which I'm just filing away for a 6'4" kid with that kind of speed and maybe some ball skills. Second-round draft pick from last year, I'm at least taking notice. All of which is to say, if Gardner Minshew is ready to take more chances going forward, or if in any given week game script dictates a more aggressive plan, I think Chark fits the athletic profile of someone who could at least leap up into wide receiver 3 candidacy. If you want someone for now, add Robinson, or you could try Geronimo Allison. But if you have a deeper bench with an eye towards stashing for a week and just seeing how the next game or two turns out, DJ Chark has some potential. But what do you think the best waiver ads of the week for Week 3 will be? Let us know down in the comments, and thank you very much for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button, and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.